Seattle, where we warm up relationships and help bring people together. Today we have a special guest. We have Joanne Edinberg. Sorry, we've got this down. Edinberg. Joanne Edinberg is here. She is going to be talking with us, you guys, about the relationship you have with your body. I am Margaret Elizabeth.
And I'm Rafael Rodriguez.
And we are DeFrost Seattle. You guys, we are so excited to be talking about this really important subject of your relationship with your own body. There's just so many, feelings that people have. And so I'm so grateful that you're here today, Joanne.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. So let's kind of just dig right into it. So people, not just teenagers who are really heightened, image of their body, but as people age, their feelings just keep, changing. I think when you're in your youth, you're just kind of over obsessed with perfection. And then when you get older, everybody starts worrying so much about aging. So is there one specific ideal weight that makes people feel healthy and is like I know that whole body mass index?
I mean, there's a lot of ideas about that. I think people think that there's an ideal image and an ideal weight. And there's a huge connection that people think exists between health and weight. But the reality is, based on the research, and there's a whole body of knowledge called Health at Any Size, and they've done a lot of studies showing that weight in and of itself is actually not a risk factor for disease. If there are other issues, yes.
Okay.
But so that's a big myth
so
out
if someone is perceived to be overweight, that doesn't necessarily mean they're not healthy.
Exactly. There's lots of people who are overweight that are healthy. There's lots of people that are underweight that are healthy. But we have this idea that we need to lose weight in order to stay healthy.
Right. And I guess what you have to do is define what is healthy.
Exactly.
Even because those scales, they don't work for every body type. For instance, I am way at the limit of what is of the size
average male because of your height.
I'm an outlier because of my height. And for instance, if I use my BMI, I am not fat by any means, but my BMI will say that I am overweight or a lot overweight.
Just due to your height. Now, for those of you that don't know, Raphael is 5'8".
I'm 6'9" tall.
6'9", you guys.
Yeah.
So you guys, this is the thing, is that everybody's so different, and we don't fit in these little boxes.
People freak out, but so even those indexes, they not always tell the truth. And then when people focus a lot on that, they can already be in a wrong, in a bad place, psychologically, because oh my god, I see this person and they have this number and I cannot achieve that number, but people are different.
Right.
Exactly. And we don't really know exactly what any one individual person should weigh, because we are all unique and there's such a variation. But when you look at these measures, it makes it into a very simple equation, and that's just not the truth. And the reality is that people feel, like you said, really badly about themselves, that there's something wrong with them, when in fact they could be perfectly healthy, and that there are other issues that go into health besides weight. But I think it contributes to this idea that we feel bad about our bodies.
And so the most important thing is feeling good about yourself. So as an eating psychology coach, do you coach people on how they feel about? Is it more about their feelings about their bodies then?
Exactly. There's so much focus on how we look, and we've been given these messages from a very early age, especially for women. And so it's hard to overcome this, but really it is so much more important to focus on how we feel.
Right.
And really start trusting ourselves to know what that is, and not basing it on these societal ideals.
Right. So there's not this just one size that's correct for anybody. So you could be, you could have a huge range of your weight. And so sometimes it's, I guess, I know for me personally, I feel good at a certain weight. I mean, do you find that there's a certain weight where you feel better about yourself versus another?
I don't know. I'm trying to gain more weight.
You're trying to gain weight.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I know and that's what's so interesting, the difference between men and women is that men, they actually take more pride in having more weight on, and women feel the pressure to always be smaller and thinner. Women feel like they can never be thin enough.
Right. And the other issue around that is that it turns out that having a little extra weight is better for your health.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. So recovering from surgery or just living longer. People that are a little overweight actually live longer than people who are underweight.
Oh, interesting.
It's a surprising fact, right? But it can make you feel a little better to know that, because, if you think about it though, someone that's very old or very frail and very sickly, clearly if they had more weight, it would be better for them in terms of recovery, right?
Right.
And if we are too thin and we don't weigh enough at all, that's a disease. It's called anorexia.
Right.
And our body literally shuts down when we don't have enough food.
Right.
So.
And if someone goes into a coma or something like that, and their bodies don't, get the normal nutrition for months, that could determine how long you live as well.
Exactly.
So not always a bad thing to have a little bit of extra padding. That's makes me feel better. So let's talk about our body image and what does that teach us? So thinking about our image and what can we learn from this?
Yeah, I think a lot of times people think that if we don't like how we look, that's just a really negative thing. But my opinion is that all of our experiences are here to teach us something. And I think body image in particular is here to teach us, just to be more compassionate with ourselves and to have more unconditional love. It's easy to love ourselves when we look perfect or we act perfectly. We know this about, with our kids or other relationships or family. It's easy to love people when things are going the way we think they should.
Sure.
But when things are harder and we have challenges, that's the time that we can really learn, no, I'm still the same me inside. And so I think body image can help teach us that.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I just always think you never know, how much you're going to miss something about your body until you don't have it.
Exactly.
And I always tell people, if you hurt your arm, then, and you can't use it, then you start really being grateful for that arm, right? And you don't think about that on a daily basis of how grateful, that we have these bodies that actually work, and we should just be grateful for all these details. Also, we are always going to be critical of how we look, but I always tell people, if you think you're old now, wait 10 years and look back on a photo, you're always everything's perspective, right?
Exactly.
So you can always say, when 10 years from now, I'm going to feel like I looked so young today. So it's really just getting your mindset, shifting it to be grateful for your body.
Exactly, like shifting that self criticism and self-judgment to more one of curiosity and compassion.
Sure.
Yeah.
So what kind of things can people do to feel better about their bodies? Are there some real tactical things that we can do to change that mind shift?
Yeah. There's lots of things you can do. Not that it's easy. This is a tough one. But I think, so I've got like a D, E, F, and G. Okay. So D is ditch the scale. I think using some kind of external measure to determine how we feel, it never bodes well. Especially with weight. If you weigh yourself in the morning, a lot of times you can either have a good day or a bad day just based on that number on the scale. So we don't really need that.
Too much pressure.
Better to get rid of it, or at least keep it out of sight so you're not thinking about that.
Right, or just use it for like a travel. So when I like to weigh my suitcases, but that's the only time I use mine.
Yeah, it just still has a purpose.
Right.
So let's see, E would be embodiment. So getting more in your body rather than in your head and thinking all the negative thoughts about your body. Having one of the things I work with my clients on is having an embodied movement practice. Something where you're in your body that you enjoy. So I don't really even refer to it as exercise, but more focused on doing what you love and moving your body. It could be gardening, it could be walking, it could be swimming, it could be dancing.
That's good. Do you have something that you do that you enjoy that gets you out of your head and into your body?
Oh, I like to go to the gym, and I like to go early in the morning, like first thing in the morning, because our brains take like 2 hours to get to full activity after we wake up. So I like to wake up.
2 hours, did you say?
Yes.
Wow, that's an interesting fact.
So like when people just like jump from bed and go straight to work, like they, even when people are like working remotely, they get up from bed 5 minutes before their first meeting, they're still sleeping when they are, so they're not like up to speed on their like mental, on their brain activity.
So might as well work out during that time.
Yeah. So while I'm still like waking up, I only have like to know how to count to 30, and that's it. Like, I'm exercising, and there's like lots of advantages on exercising first thing in the morning versus later in the day.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
I'm a morning exerciser too. Because I'm more of a morning person. But yeah, just those things, those activities that get you out of your
head into your body. And
Great.
so F, so we've got D, ditch the scale, E, embody.
Are we spelling out?
Well, I couldn't think of ABC, so I just started with D. So, so F is fun and friends, because we want to focus on what puts us in more of that relaxation state, so we feel good. So feeling good, doing things that make you happy, that give you pleasure, bring you joy, laughter, purpose, all of those things are going to be the opposite of the stress response. And then friends, it's really important to be with people who don't focus all of their energy on how they look.
Right.
And that's a little bit hard to find, but it's important. And then G would be what you talked about, gratitude. Thinking about what you appreciate about your body, as opposed to, just loving your body all the time or everything about it. That's hard to do, but yeah, like you said, you don't know what you have till you don't have it anymore. And our bodies do so much for us.
You hurt your knee in a soccer accident.
Yeah.
And you
But I'm grateful I can still walk.
But you can walk.
Yeah.
So there you go. Gratitude.
Yeah.
Gratitude. It's so important. You got to be grateful, because things can always be worse, and we have so much going for us. Bodies are a miracle. just the way everything functions. And when I took biology classes, I was just like, wow. It's pretty remarkable that any of us are here and that our bodies actually work.
Yes, and it can be as simple as being grateful for your eyes so you can see, or your mouth so you can speak.
Right, and when I did image consulting, I used to be a personal image stylist, and what I focused on was having everybody choose at least 5 things that you love about your body. And that's, so hard for some people. But you can always start with your eye color. Most people like their eyes, and then, try to find something else, I like my legs, or, I like my skin, there's all these things, but just pulling out 5 things. So when you look in the mirror, just, having that in confirmations of all the things that you like about yourself, instead of going directly to the focusing in on things that you don't like. So
yes,
your body image relationship is so important. So I think that's really awesome. So now, Joanne, you also help people with the food relationship. Is that
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So we're going to be talking with Joanne as a part 2 about her all her tips and tricks around the eating psychology and food. So you do not want to miss this. Next part 2 will be airing on Saturday morning at 10 a.m. And very excited. Is there any more tips that you want to share about your relationship with your body?
I think we covered a lot of good ideas. I don't know if any of this resonates for you, Raphael, because I work with women mostly.
Oh yeah, no, it does. And but also just going back to the letter F, when you're in this path of trying to get into a better relationship with your body, you end up connecting with people that are in the same journey.
Yes.
For some reason, we are so focused on that we start vibing with other people. We identify other people that are in the same path, and we connect, and then fosters like new relationships with other people. You make
Oh,
like
yeah.
new friends.
Right.
And,
It's like your energy just connects with other people with
yeah.
that similar vibe. And
So if we're trying like to defrost Seattle, that's another another entry point to like make new connections and to have a happier life.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and in terms of body image, you know, focusing so much on our body image and how we look, being able to put that energy outwards to other things, you know, so that you're focusing on the things that make you happy.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
that takes the pressure off and the focus off.
Right.
So,
So you guys, at DeFrost Seattle, we're all about relationships, whether it be with other people or even just the relationship you're having with yourself, which is important. If you feel good about who you are, then you're going to reflect that out to other people, and they're going to be attracted to you. You're kind of just vibe with people, and they'll just
Yeah.
kind of like, you know, come in to be part of your friend circle. So I hope you enjoyed this episode, you guys. Please be sure to like and subscribe our shows. We really enjoy bringing some fun, new, interesting topics to you. We can't wait for some of the exciting episodes we have coming up. And if you want to see more of our episodes, we do have a whole YouTube channel. You can find us on YouTube under DeFrost Seattle. And we will see you on Saturday. Thanks for joining.